Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rock and Roll 150 here at beautiful Nashville Super Speedway. This is going to be Chris and Josh Kiwis, myself up here in the booth, bringing you some Full Throttle Cup Series racing as we have the grid going live here. As it'll be Ken Baum Jr. watching qualifying positions. He will be sitting in that first spot. It's a good qualifying from these drivers. As Josh Susi will sit in that second place position. Ken Baum and Josh Susi are your 1-2 from last week, so only granted that they'll be back up here racing for it again today, as we'll see Carson Pittman rolling off a very solid third place here tonight in that Full Throttle Racing number 4 machine. See Kyle McCarthy rolling off fourth here in that 24 Nitro machine. Our fifth and sixth drivers, two Team Sparkle Unicorn drivers, have not popped up, but it will be Matthew Fitz in that 69 in fifth place and William Brown starting in sixth. We will get on board with them once they get gridded up here in just a second. We do have a little bit of a small field here tonight, so with all the tropical storms and everything going on, I would expect that there wouldn't be a full field, but as we do see William Brown right there in that sixth spot, and there is Matthew Fitz. Go ahead and have a look at those two race cars as we continue through the rest of our field, getting onto this P7 position here. It'll be that Nitro Racing David Smill Jr., and then we'll see Lucas Nilges in that P8 position, rolling off in that number 3 Team Sparkle Unicorn Toyota. Then we'll see Jaden Bingaman rolling off 9th here with Chris Lynn in 10th. Jimmy Barr will be 11th with Andrew May in 12th. We'll then see Michael Zuber rolling off 13th with Jeremy Zarfos on his outside in that 14th position. Bill Hales, who will probably take the EOL, so we'll say he starts 17th here tonight. Then we'll see Robbie Bice in that 15th and Brody Green in that 16th position. If Bill Hales does take that EOL, he will start at the end of the field, which I want to say every race this season he has taken that EOL, Chris. So we should see Bill Hales go to the rear, and if he doesn't, well then, man, that's gonna be.
It's gonna be a break
awkward.
in the.
Yeah.
Break in the cycle.
I know, it's almost like the Twilight Zone. Alright, well, it looks like Bill Hales will not take that, so I will correct myself. 15th starting position for Bill Hales, 16th for Robbie Bice, and 17th for Brody Green. But pace car is taking that left turn like our drivers will be doing here in a second. The Rock and Roll 150 about ready to go green as Ken Baum Jr., Josh Susi bringing us to the green, as there they go. A good little restart, start there from the 81. And that Nitro car, that 24 of Kyle McCarthy, going to get right up to that back bumper of that 81 of Josh Susi. As you'll see that turn 2 terrible. Ken Baum Jr. drive it off into turn 1 for the first time tonight. And a little bit of action there. It's Kyle McCarthy a little bit loose, as that's going to allow Matthew Fitz around him. But so far so good up here in the top 3 is Carson Pittman already peeking that nose early. But we'll see how these drivers will handle it as they come through 3 and 4. As they make their way to the end of lap number 1 here. So far so good with our top 5. Just a little bit of shuffling there. But it's going to be still Ken Baum Jr., Josh Susi, and Carson Pittman as your top 3. Matthew Fitz up 1 position. Kyle McCarthy down a 1. As you'll see David Smill Jr. and Jaden Bingaman also moved their way up 1 and 2 spot. That's that Jaden Bingaman moves down the spot as we got a little bit of battling going on to the back of the field. But speaking of battling, we do see that Carson Pittman machine open it up to the inside there, Chris, on turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, as I was about to say, it looks like Carson Pittman making his way to that second position, getting around Josh Susi. Now you see Matthew Fitz rolling up behind him. As I see a couple, like I heard you say earlier, Josh, we got a lot of drivers that probably aren't here tonight due to the weather that's going on, and I see a little bit of frame drops going on. We're probably getting hit with it too because we are still currently getting kind of slapped with it.
As I say, when people say they're in the storm, we are literally in the storm, right on the coast. So
yeah, it is.
Live on the ocean, so do apologize if we have any internet issues, and if it gets too bad, we won't make you guys suffer. We will call it early if it gets unwatchable or anything. But I think so far it's been relatively good.
It's a little bad, but not too terrible.
I was gonna say little hiccups here and there, but if it does get too terrible, we do apologize about that. Just living right here in that storm area, literally the eye of the storm. It's been kind of hectic for us on the internet and power here lately.
Yeah, but Carson Pittman did set the fastest time this last time by. Let's see who can set the fastest time by this time by. Doesn't look like anybody just yet. So Carson Pittman currently holding on to that fastest time, but he has moved his way up 1 position. And yeah, like you said, Josh, up 2 positions right now. Matthew Fitz up into that that third position. So looking like he's starting to figure out this track. Josh Susi's starting to fall back a little bit, actually. Now falling back to that fourth place position. And you see he's got his teammate right there behind him, Kyler McCarthy and Jaden Bingaman, as Lucas Nilge's going to work to the inside of Jaden Bingaman. So we'll see if he can make something stick. It looks like he's going to go ahead and make that pass. Lucas Nilge's will. And then he's going to pull up to the back there of that 24. Colin McCarthy, let's see if he's going to make a move on him. As right now I see the front really just not really doing much of anything. Right now, Lucas Nilges is currently the one moving through the field. Maybe these Sparkle Unicorn setups got something underneath them tonight.
I was going to say, Chris, it does seem like we got some drivers firing off here early and firing off fast. As you see that right across the nose, Colin McCarthy and Lucas Nilge goes. But what I will say is, don't lose your lunch yet if you're one of those Nitro fans. I mean, we do know these guys have usually the cars that come in at the end, but they have been fast in the start as well here. Pretty much the last every race that we've watched this season, I would say. But if we're here in the next 20 laps and Susie's still falling back and the Nitro guys are still falling back as well with him, then we might have something to worry about. But right now, I would say just hold on to it and let's see what we got going on with them. Can't count a racer like Susie out with as much success he's had this season. But look at that, Chris Carson Pittman. He is starting to see that number 2 slow down a little bit. We do know how a track like Nashville Super Speedway, though, Chris, can't eat up tires.
Yeah,
it is one of those tracks that's very abrasive.
Well, it's basically, you can imagine Dover just stretched out. If you were to be able to just grab it at the center and kind of stretch it out into a super speedway, it's pretty much what it is. It's the same, the same concrete. I think it's what it is. It's concrete based, and it's very, like you said, it's very abrasive with the tires. So that's going to be something, interesting to see, how these drivers that are really fast here early on, how it's really going to affect the car, later on. Because I will say this: whenever I found out that we were going to race here, I had never raced the Cup cars here. The next gen cars, the cars that we're watching right now, whichever one you want to call them. I went and raced it there, and I was like, man, these things are actually a lot of fun on this track. But I noticed about 20 laps into that run, them tires were eat up. So that's going to be something. We're at lap 10 now, so we're halfway through that. And I was doing kind of a conserve line. So that's going to be something interesting to see. That's not digging. And Carson Pittman's doing a lot of digging right now to catch up to Ken Baum. So, this is going to, see how, that's going to play out here in the future.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. I mean, it can come back to bite you. We'll have to see how he's going to manage it, though.
I saw some tire marks. It looks like yellow flags out. Yeah, caution. Kyler McCarthy.
Kyler McCarthy, maybe?
As we're going to do the good old blockbuster rewind. See what happened here with Kyler McCarthy. Looks like maybe just got a little loose. Maybe got a bad pocket of air. You see him riding down there along the line. Might have just got a little loose down there on the bottom. He was able to lock it down, keep it from going around. Didn't hit anything. Hey, you might lose, a lot of positions, but you're still in this race.
The race car.
Yeah, it's better than losing the race car. As I'm going to go back and see if I can see. I don't see any markers about anybody going off track. I saw some tire marks right there going down into the dirt, so I didn't know if anybody had went off track, but I don't see any markers for it. So maybe that was just from from the previous session. It just popped up. But then as I said that, Kyler McCarthy kind of slid into the same area. As you'll see him and Brody Green go down pit lane. As I want to say, Lucas Nilge, Josh Susie, and Jimmy Barr all down pit lane. So Susie probably not liking something underneath that race car right now. He's going to go down and maybe make some adjustments because, he did lose a few positions early on.
Yeah, he didn't look. It didn't look. Excuse me, I should say, characteristic from Susie. It looks like he is just going to take a little bit of adjustment, possibly fill her up with gas, and he's going to get on his way. But it didn't seem characteristic from the Nitro guys, Chris. Usually, they're the ones pretty much leading the pace wherever it be in the pack of the field that they're at. At least one of their drivers is holding a dominant run in that part of the field. But it seemed like right there they were all kind of falling back together, and you see even Kyle McCarthy. Excuse me one second. I had a tickle in my throat. Sorry about that. You see even Kyle McCarthy right there, Chris, having a little bit of issue with the race car. So it could just be a tell tonight that maybe the Nitro guys just might not have it all cooked out. I mean, we do know that a track like Nashville Super Speedway can come up and catch off guard with how difficult it can be. But I said it earlier, we're only at lap 13, man. I'm not counting them out for yet. It's just one of those things of what if. You know, you really don't. So we'll just see. We'll see how they manage here. I would expect Susie and them are going to come back hard, though. Don't count the Nitro guys out. But so far, it's been a good race, and seeing a lot of guys we haven't expected get up there, Chris. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, Carson Pittman, like we were saying, one of the full throttle performance drivers. You know, having, I know I normally say his name, but not in the way that he wants us to say his name. He's normally the one involved in the mess, and he's never really up front. So looks like he's got a strong race car underneath him right now. And he's worked his way back up, or he's worked his way up into that second position. And then you see Matthew Fitz giving Ken Baum a good old bump going out of turn 2. And then I see Jaden Bingham's also moved up 5 positions, and Chris Lynn's also moved up 5 positions. So a lot of drivers moving their way up the field. So this is going to be a race to see who's really got the tenacity and the setup underneath them to get them up to the front.
Yeah, you're going to have not only a good driver in the race car, you're going to have a good setup under that race car.
I said tenacity, I meant consistency.
As we'll hit the restart zone and get back to going racing. Ken Baum with a really good restart right there.
As going into turn 1, it looks like they're going to try to battle it out side by side. As everybody looks like now they're starting to file in single files. It looks like the 32 there, excuse me, that's the 26 of Jaden Bingham. He looks like he got up into the wall there a little bit coming out of turn 2. You see back behind him fanned all the way up there. As it looks like Kyler McCarthy has worked his way up to the top of the track, trying to find as much position as he can. But now Matthew Fitz has got his way around Carson Pittman, so he's moved himself up into that second position. Then back behind them, you see William Brown behind that 4 machine of Carson Pittman, moved himself up into that 4th position. And then Jaden Bingham moved himself up into that 5th position, now up 4 positions. And then Chris Lynn, that turn 2 terribles teammate of Ken Baum, who's currently leading, has moved himself up into that 6th position, 4 positions. Michael Zuver for Team Sparkle Unicorns moved himself up 6 positions as well. So a lot of drivers moving around on the track. In this top 10, I see Josh Susie has moved himself back up into that 11th position. So a lot of drivers are trying to just figure out what's going on the track right now, get the tires underneath them, and not spin out as Colin McCarthy did.
Well, Chris, if you're trying to figure the race car out where you're at right now, definitely will help you. A lot of single files, a couple car leads between some of these drivers. That'll help you figure out what you're doing by yourself, so when you catch them, relatively, you understand what the race car is going to do. As we say this, look at that, Carson Pittman, for a second there, it looked like Matthew Fitz might have got up there into the wall. Yeah, he got loose there on that outside lane for sure. But Carson Pittman is going to get by into second place.
Yeah, so Carson Pittman...
Or back into second place, I should say.
Carson Pittman just pushing down on the inside there. Matthew Fitz making him, forcing him up onto that outside lane, getting him a little uncomfortable in a place that he really doesn't want to be in. And then you see it works like he really wanted it to. Just moved him up out of the way, but never really touched him. All he did was just get him out of rhythm. And sometimes that's all you have to do to a driver, just get them out of rhythm just a little bit, get them in a line that they don't want to be in, or get them into a line that they don't practice a lot. A lot of drivers don't really practice that high lane. Everybody runs it down to the bottom, and then whenever they, dive it down to the bottom, that's why you see a lot of drivers get loose and spin out. So, a lot of drivers don't practice that high lane. Not saying that Fitz didn't practice high lane necessarily in this, but, you get pushed up into a lane that you're just not comfortable and running in at that point in time. And you see what happens. Pittman was able to get around him and really put some distance between them before Fitz was able to get settled back in.
And, to hit on what you're saying, Chris, just speaking in iRacing in general, this is no driver in here I'm speaking of. I mean, maybe somebody in here needs to hear this. I don't know. But, a lot of things that iRacers do is, especially oval racers. I mean, on road course, you have to practice, I feel like, a lot to be able just to drive a lot of road course racing. So really anything that's road discipline, I'm not speaking on this. I mean, I know I am speaking on a lot of drivers in that discipline too, but a lot in oval, it seems like more, is what drivers will do is they'll only learn that qualifying line and go, okay, I'm fast here, I know how to drive it. And that's exactly what they do. They throw out learning how to conserve tires. They throw out trying to learn their fuel runs. And when you got drivers that'll be consistent in practice and take practice like it's the race, then that's when you'll see these drivers with insane I ratings, or these guys that just seem like they're going to be able to pull away from you every time we're into a 30-plus lap run. It's just like, man, how do they have it? Well, it's because, like you said, Chris, they got to practice it to have it. So it's one of those things of, if you want the results in iRacing, you've got to put in the work. It's like any other quote-unquote e-sport or sport, whatever you want to, compare it to, or really anything in life. If you just don't practice it and stay consistent with it, you're not going to be good at it. Unless you're just some crazy alien that needs no work at all and you're just perfect, then, hey, I don't know. I guess that's just, would work for you then, but you got to practice, you got to be consistent, Chris, and you got to put in the hours and the setups not only, but driving the setups, working on those setups, making those setups work consistently. So it's one of those things you gotta salute these drivers.
No, I mean, and I will say it's one of those things that we've got the I want to say it's on Saturdays. If I'm wrong, please shoot me in the foot, Fitz. But I want to say on Saturdays we're supposed to be doing the Xfinity League, the B League. So hopefully we can get enough drivers in there to do it. But that's going to be a lot of fun, and I get to that's one of those things about that track that, or about running the Xfinity cars that I love. And like as I see Lucas Nilge's actually might have had an issue. Looks like he went around. Go back and see what happened with that 3 machine. As we were talking, looks like maybe had the same problem as the 24.
Yeah, very similar issue.
Yeah,
also got it locked down.
Very similar.
Oh, even
issue.
went around.
Yeah, even got it slowed down.
Even thought the caution was gonna come out too. It's like, well, guess not. Unfortunate, man.
Yeah, so unfortunate there for Nilge's. But at this point, you know that you might have another caution come out. So just just kind of ride it out, and you'll get caught back up. But I don't remember what I was talking about now.
I do not remember either, because once we got onto that wreck, I completely forgot. You can't put stuff into my brain like that. I don't store information.
Oh, about the Xfinity, about just practicing things that I've learned. I've actually learned a lot from.
You just confused me.
From watching these guys race. From watching a lot of the leagues that we've called before, and then watching these guys race. I've learned a lot. It's a lot of things that I've put into my own driving line that I've learned from I always say that this is basically just film study. Like, all I do is sit here and study what these drivers do, and then sometimes after the race I'll sit there and go, all right, I remember this crazy move that somebody did at lap 30. I'm gonna go back and look and see what it was, and then I'll go, okay, I see what they did there, I'm gonna use that. And then the next race I use it, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I see why they did this now. And it starts making sense when you kind of figure out how, I wouldn't say to manipulate the system, but to really, understand how it works. Once you figure out what what your tire degradation is, and how hard you can push, and how, the noises, and how far your equipment, what that thin line of spinning out and everything, you really start to take all of that stuff and really apply it to this. And then you see, like, right now, Josh Susie, who had fallen all the way to the bags, now moved himself up into the 9th position, so he's already pulling himself back through the field. He's just got to battle through a lot of traffic right now. Ooh, he's having a little bit of traffic problems right there. He's got Michael Zuver in front of him. And you see Jimmy Barr right behind him. We see Ken Baum is currently sitting in the lead, though, with about a 3/4 of a tenth gap from, sorry, 3/4 of a second gap from him and Carson Pittman, and then about a second back from him is Matthew Fitz and his teammate William Brown. So we're just going back up to the front just to show you everybody is just kind of single filed out here. You see Jaden Bingham also trying to catch up to William Brown. So it looks like Ryan Broderick had an issue, went ahead and jumped to the pits. It looks like he's going ahead and pulling it to the hauler. Unfortunate for that 5 machine. As it looks like, oh, Susie got around Michael Zuver. Zuver was getting a little loose back there as we switched to the camera. Then you see the 24 there of Kyler McCarthy, who brought up that first caution for us. Who's currently...
The session.
Oh, Ryan Broderick just joined the session. Okay, it just said that he had jumped to the pits. I am so sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just noticed that. And I was like, I think he's hopping in the race car. I think he's about to get out here and turn some laps. Yeah, his time's going down. I think Ryan Broderick's going to get down here 30 plus laps down. He's going to turn some laps.
Hey, I respect it.
Hop on board with him right quick. Is he driving? There he is, man. Heck yeah. Might be a day late and $1 short, but you know what? He's out there racing.
Right now, we're riding on board with Carson Pittman. You see him taking that outside lane. Matthew Fitz starting to peek to the inside. Let's see if he can make it stick. Ooh, see, Fitz getting a little loose on that inside lane, but he's going to make the pass there on Carson Pittman. So Carson Pittman going to also try to battle on the outside there with William Brown, but not going to be able to hold those 2 positions off. So he's going to actually drop back 2 positions to that 4th position to Matthew Fitz and William Brown. So right now, Matthew Fitz and William Brown got around Carson Pittman. Now they've got Ken Baum 2 3/4 of a second in front of him to track down. So looks like Matthew Fitz has already set some pretty good distance between him and Carson Pittman. So maybe that setup is starting to not be what Carson Pittman likes in it.
As you see, Matthew Fitz now, Chris, off that Carson Pittman falling back, has promoted himself into 2nd place. He does have William Brown right behind him, his Team Sparkle Unicorn teammate. We'll see if they'll work together, try to catch this Ken Baum Jr. machine.
Yeah, he's got about a 2.5 second gap between him and Ken Baum. So he's got a little bit of distance he's got to make up. But like you said, you know, now William Brown is behind Matthew Fitz to help push him, and Ken Baum is up there all by himself. So, whoa, as we see Carson Pittman getting a little loose coming out of turn 4. As it looks like maybe just got a little loose coming out of that corner. So we're going to go ahead and back it up here because no incident markers, but we'll see what happens coming out of the corner. It looks like maybe just, like I said, maybe just a little loose there. It doesn't look like, yeah, Jaden doesn't look like he makes any contact, and maybe he just thought that he had that clear and pulled down in front of him and sent him off the front nose there of him.
I'm not sure what happened there as they were coming out down the backstretch. I don't know if Carson was still loose. Like, no, I think he just thought he was clear.
Yeah.
I don't think it was anything intentional or malicious. Like you said, he made no contact with Carson at all. It was just, I think Carson, like you said, cars just not coming to him anymore. Something with that setup's not working. And I can tell you what it is. It's the tires, Chris.
Yeah, we're already 40 laps into it. And we always say, that Dover
Susie
is like
just fell back 2 positions. I swear, I watched him go back 2 positions or come up.
He has come up 2 positions. He is
okay. My bad.
Position.
I saw some names move, and I thought I watched him drop. My bad.
No, you're okay.
But then when I saw that, I was like, yeah, it looks like he's passing Chris Lynn. So, but if he hasn't passed Chris Lynn recently, I don't know. Chris Lynn's still holding some speed.
Yeah, because he did not. Josh Susie did not come down pit lane take tires. He only took fuel. He was only down pit lane or in his pit stall for 5 seconds. So that is just a splash and go there for Susie. So no tires. He's still, currently on those old tires. He just maybe has a little bit better setup underneath that car, and he's able to get around everybody because right now he is tracking down Carson Pittman. Only got about a second gap between him and Carson Pittman. So we'll see if Susie can get up there and claim that 6th position because, as I want to say, Bill Hales also moved himself up into that 5th spot.
Heck yeah, man. Bill Hales is on a good run right now. I didn't even notice that. 10 positions.
Yeah, all the way from 15th into 5th.
I mean, Chris, we know he's got the potential.
As Ryan Prodrick looks like he came down pit lane, maybe having a little bit of a connection issue. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any lap time from him, or he's not advancing, or his gap's not moving at all for me.
Yes, it says so he entered pit lane, left pit lane.
Oh, but I don't see him. He just manually disconnected.
Yeah, so I don't know if his internet
could be having some issues. Yeah, unfortunate for Broderick though if he is, and hey, at least you came out here and turned a couple laps.
Yeah, no, that is true. Mad respect for that. But Carson Pittman surrendering another position there to that 81 of Josh Susie. So Susie moved himself back up into that 6th spot. He's going to be tracking down Bill Hales here before too long, but he's got about a 2 2/10 gap from that 5th position. And then Jaden Bingaman is right on the back bumper. Well, I say right on the back bumper. He's pretty close to William Brown. And you see Matthew Fitz right in front of William Brown. And Ken Baum is kind of just set his own pace, own lap time right now. He is currently sitting about 3 1/10 up from Matthew Fitz, which was about 2.5 seconds the last time I had mentioned anything. So that just goes to show how much of a gap he's already put on him. Like 0.6 seconds of time on him. So that's a lot of time at a track like this, especially if you can just get up here and, he doesn't have any lap traffic in front of him right now. He has nobody to really battle with him, to really mess with him. He can set his own pace, but, Matthew Fitz, you were kind of thinking that maybe since he had his teammate behind him that he was going to be able to just get in and push up to him, but doesn't look like the lines are the same there that Ken Baum and Matthew Fitz and co are running, because they are starting to, I say that, they're starting to slowly pull a little bit of time up to Ken Baum. But I wonder, if, how much of that is Ken Baum just doing a conserve.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. And I don't think any of these guys have came down for pit road for tires. So it's one of those things we could see, like you were hitting on earlier, Chris. These Sparkle Unicorn guys look solid tonight. 2nd and 3rd place right now. I mean, Jaden Bingaman is right behind them. They do have Bill Hales 2 seconds back. Oh, caution! Colin McCarthy again? Or David Smith Jr.? I think Chris might have went AFK from the control panel as soon as the caution popped. But we will get to it. I want to say it was David Smith Jr., guys. I could be mistaken here. But he has dropped all the way to the rear of the field. So is Colin McCarthy. Oh, we got a beat-up race car down there on the apron. Not sure who that was. Yeah, sorry about that. Chris walked away for just one moment. As soon as he gets back, we will get this caution. It's the 27. Yeah, David Smith Jr., that's who that was. So it looked like David Smith Jr. Something happened here. As you see Chris Lynn and Colin McCarthy. Oh, Chris Lynn's going to get in there hot, and that's going to spook Colin McCarthy. Almost pump faked him. And Davis Moss Jr., just an innocent bystander.
You see the contact up in front of him with Chris Lynn. Oh, and then David Smith just nowhere to go in that situation. Oh, that 27 machine's just limping back to pit lane right now.
Yeah, look at the front right. It's not even on
Yep.
the ground. I mean, it is just... Oh, now that from that angle, yeah. From that one angle, the wheel looked straight, did it not? Oh,
Yeah.
there it goes. Oh, well, because it's everywhere. Yeah, that is a race over for that 27.
Unfortunate, though.
Zarfos didn't come down pit road. He will retain the lead, or take the lead, I should say. I love my education there, sorry. As we'll see Ken Baum Jr. come out second place. Matthew Fitz third. William Baum fourth. And Susie in fifth. Did Jeremy Zarfos take any tires earlier, or do you think he's just staying? I don't know.
No, he hasn't. He has not come down pit lane. Wonder if he's just trying to get a point for leading the race.
Could be. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens here. Is he? Yeah, he's coming down pit road. Him and Colin McCarthy will come down pit road. But so far here, as we hit lap 50, got 100 laps left to go this time by. It's been a good race, Chris. I mean, 30 minutes, we've already get 50 laps. It doesn't even feel like it.
Yeah, this has been one of those races that's just kind of flown by. We don't have a lot of drivers here. Like we said, being in South Carolina, especially the Beaufort area, the weather here has not been very pretty the last couple of days. And I was actually talking to you about this earlier, Josh. Just saying that, man. I'm just happy to have power at this point. With as much as we've had going on around here, that I didn't really know how the internet was going to go, and it hasn't been bad tonight. It's actually been really good. We had a little bit of a hiccup there at the beginning, but right now it hasn't really had any issues at all. So it's been going pretty good. Sorry, had something ringing in my headset, but I was saying, with that weather and everything, it's why we don't have a lot of drivers out here on track. So, um, just and plus this was technically supposed to be an off week because of the Olympics, but everybody voted for the Nashville Super Speedway to be raced, and here we are. We're at the Nashville Super Speedway. So this kind of was a last minute thing. But it is a points race, so that's what's important.
Yeah, this is going to be a good restart here as we'll see Matthew Fitz to the outside. Pace lights are off. This is just going to be one of those things that if you can get a good restart here, Chris, but look who's on the outside lane there right behind Matthew Fitz. Right back in it. He's right back in it. I mean, it's one of those things, this could be pretty much the race for the lead here. If Susie gets a good enough restart, we know how he is on these restarts, but I'm expecting Matthew Fitz, Chris, to go pretty much hammer down. He's gonna let it hang out. I think Matthew Fitz is gonna put his foot on the loud pedal, and he is going to try to assert his dominance. He wants to lead this race.
Yeah, I know he wants to at least get a podium. That's something that he's always told me. He at least wants to get a podium.
Oh man, could you imagine that interview?
His green flag's out. Good jump there from that 2 of Ken Baum. Not so good jump from that outside lane. We'll see if William Brown can get tucked back in behind his teammate. or if William Brown's just going to go ahead and assume that second position.
William Brown, good. Or not William Brown, excuse me. Matthew Fitz, good run on that outside lane as the 81 did tuck up behind him. He's going to the middle lane now. He's going to lose that position possibly to William Brown, but second place retained by that number 69 of Matthew Fitz. We'll have to see if Princess Banana Hammocks cut anything, dude, for our 2-car of Ken Baum Jr. I would like to see one of these guys go up here and battle at least Susie or Ken Baum Jr.
Ooh.
As we're seeing him battle with Susie right now, man, Susie just has not been able to do what he wants to here, Chris, tonight. He is stuck on that outside lane right now as well.
Yeah, as you saw, William Brown and Susie getting really close coming out of turn 2. I was wondering if that 9 machine, or the 9 machine was going to go around off of the front of the 81 there for a second. But they got it settled out there at the last second. But look, Bill Hells is also standing behind him saying, hey guys, come on, can y'all go in front of me? I am ready to go.
Yeah, Bill Hells has got a car that he wants to go out there and put some clean air in between that front nose and him. But that's a lot of things about these race cars, Chris, is usually a lot of them are really fast if they were just in the air by themselves. It's just, it's easy to set up a race car to be on the track by itself, but sometimes it can be harder for some people to set up the race car that have to manage it in the air, you know what I mean? I mean, a car handles completely differently. So not only do you got to make it handle good behind people, but you also got to just make it overall not only good handling, but good tire wear, good tire management. It's got to be able to do all these things great. So hard to set up one of these race cars, but you know, you just got to think if some of these guys can get clean air, heck, they could probably go up here and lead this race. That's a big move from William Brown here. Is he let that 81 of Josh Susie get to his inside, and he's going to shoot it back around to the outside.
Oh.
And heck, he's making that outside lane look fast, just like his teammate did.
Yeah, William Brown. William Brown with a big move there. Coming into turn 1, you saw him let Susie get around him and then went high and just kind of cut the momentum off. So we'll see if Susie is just going to push him into the corner, see if he can force him into a position that he doesn't want to be in. And then Susie take that position back. As you see there, William Brown going all the way to the top of the track. Susie did push him into the corner a little bit faster than maybe William Brown wanted to go. That forced him up the track. So a good push there from the 81 of Susie to say, hey man, go ahead and just get out of my way.
Yeah, and that opens the door for Jaden Bingaman now to try to get up and pass this 9 of William Brown. We'll see how this battle will go here. William Brown, I think, is not going to be happy losing that podium position. He definitely felt like he could go up there and possibly lead this race, I'm sure, if he just had the right restart. But here at lap 60, he's going to have his work cut out for him if he wants this podium, Chris. It's going to be head down, focus up, and try not to let any of these cars behind you pass you. He's got Susie right there. Just don't want to lose him, you know. It's one of those things, if you see Susie right in front of you, it's like, all right, that feels great. I'm on pace. Then you see him slowly start to creep away and go, okay, this is horrible. So, you know, it's one of those things. He's a fast driver. You just don't want to lose him here.
And then, you know, you see right here in this camera position, you look behind you, and you have just got a gaggle of race cars right in your rear view. And you're like, man, I wish I was that guy in front of me right now that didn't really have anything to worry about. It looks like William Brown maybe having a little bit of an issue in his race car now. Maybe having a little bit of looseness. We saw him, getting down in the corner there. And different than off the front of Jaden Bingaman to go is William Brown. Let's see if he can keep it straight.
He's still wrecking.
Oh,
And there goes Robbie Mice.
Oh.
Man, it's almost like you were talking about it, Chris.
Yeah. As it looks like going into the corner, he was just not having the same feel that he was a few laps ago. It looks like he just got forced into a position that he didn't want to be in, and then off the front.
Bingham been bumping him on entry or no? Oh yeah, he's helping him. I would have to say that's Bingaman.
Well, let's see going into the corner here. We'll back it up a little bit. It looks like a big. It looks like William Brown slowed up a whole lot, though.
I mean, you are wrong. I don't know. Let's see.
I don't know. Maybe Jaden went in a little too hot.
I'm not gonna say it's either fault, but from that perspective, it looks like Bingaman did bump him. I just don't know how much William Brown slowed down. I'd have to see the telemetry from his car. Because right there, he's going from 170 to 140 really quick. Compared to William Brown, who's... I mean, I don't know. It seemed pretty normal to me, I feel like. I'll just wait to see how they react in Thunderdome later. You'll get my opinion never, but either way, man, something like that's going to happen on a track where you got one driver who feels a little bit more comfortable in his car compared to another guy who might have to slow down just even 2-3% more input on the brakes. Unfortunate that it happened, but it happened. And if you're Josh Susie, you're probably happy that it happened because now you get to pick either the inside or the outside lane, which you don't get to pick the inside or the outside lane. I don't know why I'm acting like there's a choose cone, but Susie will get to this inside lane. And not saying that Matthew Fitz and co aren't going to be able to have a good restart, but that inside lane's been hitting so fast for Ken Baum Jr. that I think if Susie has a good restart, he's easily going to pass Matthew Fitz or somebody if he just pays attention.
As we got a couple of drivers coming down pit lane, Brody Green, Kyler McCarthy, William Brown currently sitting down pit lane, and then Robbie Weiss also down pit lane. It's one of those drivers that we always have the misfortune of saying his name. Robbie, man, you have some terrible luck, Bubba.
Yeah.
You have some terrible luck. It's always the wrong place, wrong time. Whenever, like, Josh said, no, Robbie Weiss, I was like, no, I didn't even see him till it was last second, and I was like, oh
Yeah,
no.
I saw the monster car come flying in, and I was like, yeah, here we go.
But I will say, Robbie, you have the same luck as me. I'm always that guy. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna avoid. No, I'm not. That's how it always goes for me.
You think it's all good, and then it just comes back to
Yeah,
bite you in the butt.
no, and then it slaps me in the face because I'm T-boning you. That is the luck of me. I have no luck.
They're not going green, are they? No.
That should be next time by.
For some reason, thought we were on the backstretch. I saw that way too wrong. Now we should be going double file. Well, Chris, what do you think is going to happen here? Do you think Susie's got the opportunity to go up here and take the lead if he gets a good restart? Or do you think his car just might not... I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying his setup's not good. He's definitely worked through his setups. And I saw earlier where he said, to heck with his strat in the in-game chat. So maybe he's found something he likes. Maybe he's had to change it up to find something he likes. Or maybe during those pit stops, he adjusted something, not sure, but it definitely seems like Susie's got a car that handles a lot better, but wondering how I think this is going to go. I don't know. This is going to be a fun restart, I feel like.
Yeah,
Unless
maybe...
Sorry. Ken Baum just gets an insane restart. Sorry, Chris.
No, so maybe he had like when they had the setup going, maybe it was a different time in, that he practiced at, and the car just was set up for, maybe a long run when it should have been set up for a short run. Had to take a couple of, I don't know the adjustments on these cars, but maybe he had to take a couple of, bites out of something. And it seems to be working because he's up in that third place, but green flag's out. Whoa, Ken Baum getting down on that bottom lane. Susie going to push Matthew Fitz all the way up to the top lane. Matthew Fitz going to fall back down into that third position. Let's see if he has anything to say to that 81. Whoa, as it looks like Matthew Fitz got a little loose coming out of corner exit.
this is a big battle for Matthew Fitz right now, trying to hold on to that third place position. No, we're still got a good chunk of change left for this race, but if you're Matthew Fitz, you're trying not to lose too much momentum and ride the success that you've had so far.
Yeah, he's got that 26 Jaden Bingaman all over this back bumper. You see, Susie has already put a little bit of a gap between him and that 69 machine. But it looks like Jaden Bingaman wanted to make a move to the inside of Fitz, but just decided against it. I would say coming out of this corner, maybe down the front stretch, as you see, Fitz going to go ahead and try to block that momentum all the way to the bottom. Trying to keep that 26 right behind him, but Susie is trying to make up as much position as he can to Ken Baum right now. If anybody's going to have anything to say to Ken Baum, it's going to be that 81 of Susie.
Yeah, for sure, Chris. I think, like you said, if anybody is going to say something to him, it will be him. I mean, he's worked his way back up to the field, back into his original qualifying position, and he is knocking on that door a little bit. Maybe not all the way there, but he's like pretty much at the end of the driveway screaming. He's close to the front door, just not there yet. So we'll see if Susie will pull something out of his sleeve. I know he said to heck with his strat, but I have to see what the real strat is now as Matthew Fitz doing a good job so far hanging off Jaden Bingaman, or holding off Jaden Bingaman. Oh my goodness, could not say that name. And so we'll have to see really if Matthew Fitz has got the car to hold off this guy. I mean, he's shown a good pace so far. He's worked his way up through the field some.
Yeah, as you saw,
Matthew Fitz is having a great run right now, Chris.
Yeah, I was going to say, just riding on board here with Jaden Bingaman, you saw Jaden had to get out of the gas riding that middle lane, but Matthew didn't have to get out of it as much because he was able to keep that momentum rolling. So going to see how long it takes him to decide when to move up the track, decide to start taking that middle lane, attacking that middle lane a little more. As you see, woo, Jaden Bingaman's still all over the back bumper there with Matthew Fitz.
Did I just see somebody drop into the field?
I do not see anybody.
Yeah, caution's out. I was gonna say I just saw somebody drop into the field. Andrew May. Okay, that was new. Maybe I just have some wicked. I read the script for this race. Sorry, Chris. Looks like Kyle McCarthy involved in this one. We'll have to see what happened here. Ooh, net code.
I don't know. Let's see. This is 24 Kyler McCarthy. Go on the hood.
To me, it looked like he spun him before they made full contact.
It looks to me that I got a little tight and drifted up into that quarter panel.
Yeah, I still don't think he made contact when he originally spun him. Not saying he wouldn't have made contact all the way, but it did look like he spun before they made full contact. So, unfortunate for Andrew May, but that happens sometimes. And this is going to save those guys that wanted to come down pit road and maybe fuel up or change tires if they had a mess up or something they don't like. As you see it looks like, yeah, pretty much the whole field is going to come down. Ken Baum, Matthew Fitz, and Chris Lynn. Lucas Nilges all staying out. Bill Hills, Jimmy Barr, and Michael Zuber. So these guys know something we don't, Chris. These guys definitely know something we don't.
Yes, we're about to hit the halfway mark. Like you said, a lot of drivers coming down pit lane. Susie, Carson Pittman, Kyler McCarthy, William Brown, Jaden Bingaman, Brody Green, Andrew May, Jeremy Zarfos, and Robbie Weiss still down pit lane for 10 minutes and 8 seconds as of right now. It's unfortunate there for that 28 machine, but Ken Baum, knowing he's looking up in that rear view and he sees that Susie's not in it anymore. Must be a little happy, but he knows that he's going to be right back up in there. Maybe reason Susie came down pit lane, he's still trying to make those adjustments for those long run stints. Maybe he's got a short run car, but not a long run car.
All right, so it'll be interesting to see how these guys that didn't pit Chris are going to cope here. Because it'll put Susie back to that 8th position. But we should go double file here. Nope, looks like we're going to go one more to green. Or one more to go in double file, excuse me. But this is going to give Matthew Fitz another opportunity, Chris. We know he had not the greatest last restart. So this will give him an opportunity here to try to go up here and push himself into the lead of this race.
Yeah.
You see Chris, I was going to say, you see Chris Lynn in that 3rd position. Lucas Nilges in 4th. Bill Hill's still hanging out up here in the top 5. He's in 5th position. You'll see Jimmy Barr and Michael Zuver in that 6th and 7th spot. But other than that, everybody behind them all pitted. So I'm excited to see how this is going to work out for him.
Yeah, Susie is currently your first driver on fresher tires, and then he's got his teammate Jaden Bingaman right behind him on fresh tires too. Carson Pittman, who was your 2nd place driver for a good chunk of the race, has moved himself back up into that 10th spot after falling back all the way to 15th. He's now moved himself back up into 10th. So as you see Susie coming back down pit lane, wondering if he's taking a little bit of time to get a little bit of adjustments going in this car,
or getting as much fuel as he can, trying to go the rest of the way.
Yeah, because he knows that he'll be able to make it back up to the front. He's just trying to keep as much fuel. Because if we do have a green flag stint, we could make it a good. We've seen Susie make us eat our words a whole lot more than we not eating them.
Yeah, I remember when we kept saying, when is he going to pit that one race? And he never did.
Never did. Mm-hmm.
Martinsville, that's what it was. As the pace lights are off, Chris, we will go back to racing here. 75 laps to go. We'll have to see how this is going to go. As it will be Ken Baum Jr., Matthew Fitz going to bring our field back to the green. I'm excited to see if Matthew Fitz can time a restart here. Possibly go up here and lead this race. That's what I want to see, is Matthew Fitz in the lead of the race.
Yeah, he's had a couple of those inside starts. He knows where he's starting from. So see if Matthew Fitz has something to say about it. We've also got Chris Lynn on that inside lane as well. Not a good start from that outside lane, but not as bad as it has been. Still going to be battling with Chris Lynn, though, on that inside lane. See if Fitz can get around him or not. Doesn't look like he's going to have the momentum coming out of turn 2. They'll get up there, almost touch doors.
This is getting tight, Chris.
And of course, it would be on the wrong car whenever I'd switch to the camera. We'll ride on board here with Chris Lynn.
Big drive in from Chris Lynn. Whoa, he's loose. Who's that behind him loose? Zuber? Or is that Bill Hells? That's Bill Hells. Oh, he's loose and wrecking. No. Oh, no. We'll have to go back and see what happened to Bill Hells here.
As I don't think, as it looks like.
It looked like he got spun.
Yeah,
but I don't think they even got close to making contact.
As we're right on board here with Nilges, we'll see it from his hood cam. I mean, if they would have touched, they would have touched there, but Oh, you see him getting loose right there. No, he was already loose.
Yeah.
He was already loose. Right there, he's already loose. Right there. And he never touched him.
Did he take a lot of damage? I couldn't tell. Oh yeah, he hit the wall.
And you see the toe back to pits. So unfortunate for that 53 machine. Vilhel's just not having a good time coming out of that corner. As you see William Brown getting the wave around. Should be able to get that lap back, get back on the lead lap. Possibly come up here and start battling for that lead again. We saw him and his teammate Matthew Fitz move all the way up into that second position. So I'm not going to count him out just yet. You know, that's one thing that I've learned in all of these league races over the years, you know, and it's crazy to think that I've been doing this for 4 years now. But over the 4 years of me doing this, the one thing that I've learned is to never talk about a driver because you never know what's going to happen. I always say somebody's name, they always wreck out. But I will say this, though. A lot of drivers that I would say that, oh, yeah, no, they're going to go down pit lane like Susie, just blow my mind sometimes and make me eat every word that I've ever said. So that's the one thing that I love about doing all this is, you know, there's a lot of different strategies, a lot of different things that go into play. You know, everybody just thinks, oh, it's just turn left, turn left, turn left. No, it's not just turn left. There is a lot of strategies going on. There is a lot of stuff that goes into play. And that's one of the things that really keeps dragging me back to NASCAR. You know, I've been a fan since I was a little kid, but man, you know, once I learned, you know, once I got into iRacing and basically learned you know, how mentally taxing it is, made me respect it a whole lot more. As I see William Brown currently on his way out of pit lane. As we'll pull up the tower here so that way you can see where your drivers are on the track as we see right now. William Brown was able to get his lap back after taking a little bit of damage and going around off of the front of, I want to say it was Jaden Bingaman. So it's good to see that 9 machine back into contention. We see Bill Hells currently was the one that did bring out the caution, currently out of the race. See Andrew May, who was involved in, I want to say, the second to last caution. He's currently still a lap down, so if we do get another caution, he will get that lucky dog and currently get his way back onto the lead lap. But currently everybody is getting in that 2x2, so you would think now Matthew Fitz has been on that outside lane. He's had a couple of restarts to work Ken Baum. Maybe he's starting to figure out when he can jump the gun. We'll see if maybe this is when that 69 machine jumps the gun and gets a good jump on that restart.
Yeah, this one should be a good restart. I mean, my heart just wants to tell me it's going to be Ken Baum, but I want to see Matthew Fitz get up here and lead this race. No bias, but it would just be fun. Or really any of these guys here, Matthew Fitz, Chris Lynn, Lucas Nilges. I just want to see one of these guys up here and get an opportunity. Take it to Ken Baum, man. Look, I'm a big Ken Baum, Josh Susie fan, but somebody else can win too, and we can be excited about that, man. That'd be awesome. We need a little bit of an underdog story tonight. As we'll hit the Geico restart zone here, we'll see if Ken Baum gets off to a great start. And he indeed does. Way too good of a restart. That looks like it might open the door, Chris, for Chris Lynn on the inside.
No, doesn't look like Chris Lynn's going to make the move. But now he's Lucas Nilges has got that 32 machine. It looks like the 32 getting a little loose out of corner exit. It's going to open up the door for that 3 machine. It's going to push to the inside. You're also going to see Carson Pittman pushing up. Oh, it was almost 3 wide there for a second. As I just had to kind of hold my breath there for a second and watch what was going on. As you see, Lucas Nilge's now moved himself back up into that 3rd position. Or excuse me, moved himself into that 3rd position after having a spin earlier on. Then you see the 32 of Chris Lynn and the 4 of Carson Pittman battling it out right now. You see the 12 of Jimmy Barr, who we haven't really said much about tonight, moving himself up into that 5th position. Good-looking race skin on that, or good-looking livery on that race car tonight.
As Michael Zuber, he's rolling in 7th. Not a bad run from him. He's up 6 spots. But speaking of 6 spots down, Josh Susi, who started this race in that 2nd position and is now rolling in that 8th spot. We'll have to see how he's going to be able to manage Chris. I mean, he did good, but, you know, he did drop back into pit road to maybe take gas, but we'll just have to see what's gonna have to happen. But I think right now he's kind of on a conserve line, but not conserving. That's Carson Pittman, Chris Lynn. They're up there beating each other's doors off.
Say they were sitting there high-fiving and playing patty cake with each other. As we're riding on board here with Jimmy Barr, we're just watching this battle for that 4th and 5th position. As he is right now going, man, come on guys, don't wreck yourself in front of me. As you see that 4 of Carson Pittman using up every bit of that 32 machine, as it almost looks like they were about to go 3 wide. Michael Zuber going to work his way on that outside lane, so this is going to open up the door for him. As right now, everybody up in front of him is kind of single file. We're going to watch this as right now, this is the closest battle for position on track. Ooh, it's getting dicey. As if you're in that Jimmy Barr machine, as we're riding on board here with Jimmy Barr. Whoa, is the 4 Carson Pittman getting a little loose up in front of him? This is going to open up the door for Jimmy Barr. He's going to try to make a move to the inside. Nope, he just went ahead and decided to back out of it at a corner exit. He is definitely seeing something in front of him that he does not want to see. Everybody getting loose. As you're starting to see Matthew Fitz, Lucas Nilges, and Ken Baum slowly pull away from this pack. Jimmy Barr is just like, man, guys, come on, just let me through. Let me through. As you see, he's going to make a move to the inside there. As 32 of Chris Lynn going to move up the track, let his teammate get past him. Maybe.
Still a race, Chris.
As right now, is it still a race right now? Carson Pittman was able to get around the 32. Now it's a battle for that 5th spot. It looks like Jimmy Barr going to go ahead.
Susie involved. No caution because they're off the racing line too.
Yes, it doesn't look like Susie's got any damage on the front end of that machine, but he did. Let's see if we can go back here. It looks like the 32 of Chris Lynn just got a little loose up there on that top. Yeah. It looks like, yeah, if you notice there, Chris Lynn just got a little loose. Washes wide up just a little bit, and then right there it looks like he got a little loose, and then nowhere to go. Just got it into Susie. But the green flag's still out. Susie's still digging. But Ken Baum Jr., we're going to go back up here with your leader. He's currently sitting about 3/4 of a second up on Matthew Fitz, and then you see Matthew Fitz has got his teammate Lucas Nilges, who brought out the first caution of the race, and falling all the way back to that last position, has got himself back up in the 3rd position. And then Carson Pittman, who was your 2nd place position driver there for a little bit, has moved himself and fallen all the way back into about 15th, has moved himself back up into 4th. So Jimmy Barr was able to get around once that 32 of Chris Lynn got around or got loose and was able to get around him. But Josh Susie did, like you said, get involved in that incident, and he did fall back a little bit. But William Brown, who had a little bit of an incident earlier, is moving himself back up into that 6th position. He's got that 12 of Jimmy Barr in front of him, so he's trying to get that 5th position back from him. As I want to say, Chris Lynn did pull himself to the pits. He jumped to the pits.
They might wreck. They might wreck. They might wreck. They might wreck.
Oof.
This William Brown does look like he might have a little bit of big drive-in from the top lane.
Yeah, so William Brown's
down the backstretch.
I was gonna say William Brown's got the momentum.
Looks like Jimmy Barr's just gonna let him go.
Yeah, Jimmy Barr was like, "Man, I am not wanting to fight right now. I will just let you go." Gentleman thing to do from that 12 machine to Jimmy Barr. That's pretty much the same move I would have done. I'd be like, "Look, man, I'm already fighting myself. I don't want to fight you. I'm already having to fight myself."
I have to see. Up front, though, it looks like, I was about to say, Matthew Fitz and Lucas Nilges are still right there on each other, but 5/10 back, though, is still good pace, though, for Matthew Fitz and Lucas Nilges. They are able to hold on to this Ken Baum Jr. machine, but if they get a little bit of a battle, though, it really just makes you think, are they going to hold on to him then?
You have to remember, though, they did come down pit lane at lap 49. That was the last time they came down. And then Josh Susie came down pit lane with his Nitro team at around lap 79. So they've been down pit lane a lot sooner, but you also saw him involved in that incident with Chris Lynn. So Susie has fallen back a lot. Right now, he does need a caution to get caught back up, unless he can do it off of pure pace. But right now, Ken Baum, he's on those older tires with Matthew Fitz and Lucas Nilges, so not really able to put that much distance between him and that Matthew Fitz machine. So Matthew Fitz is able to keep him within that half a second range, which right now he's got it down to almost a half a second, which is going into turn 2. You see Matthew Fitz back out of the corner just a little sooner than Ken Baum, but into corner exit, gas it back up just a little sooner. He's able to keep that gap to about a 6/10 gap. So Matthew Fitz still holding on to that 2 machine.
Yeah, and he's doing a good job. I mean, hasn't lost him. Like you said, he's still holding on to him. So have to see how Matthew Fitz is going to manage here within the next 50 laps. We are at lap 100 of 150 here at the Rock and Roll 150. Really, it's just, I guess now, trials and tribulations to who is going to save their equipment better here in this last run. Don't think they're going to pit one more time, but...
Yeah, as we're riding on board here with Matthew Fitz, you just get to see the line that he's taken. You see they're not really running up too high. They're running about the mid-line, I would say. Yeah, this is about... Matthew Fitz is going down a little bit to the lower end, but you see Ken Baum running a mid-lane line. So that's something to pay attention here to, is Matthew Fitz might be having to get out of the gas just a little more than Ken Baum when it comes to corner exit. So that's where he might be losing his time. Ken Baum just running a little bit more of a conserve line. I mean, from my eyes, from my point of view, for all I know, he could be running a balls to the wall line, but to me it looks like now as I say that, Ken Baum actually ran a little lower line that time by. So, just really, I guess, it's one of those games. I know it's a game where you have to fill out the track and you have to kind of feel where your car is most comfortable. So maybe that's what that 2 machine's doing right now. I don't know. That's why I sit in the booth and call it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. Not only are you playing chess with the setup, you got to play chess with how to drive the setup. So, not sure what's going on in that Fitz camp. I mean, he's doing a good job to hang on, but it seems like they haven't been able to close that gap here. And I'm pretty sure if he was able to close that gap, he would be absolutely so happy. I would say with Nilji's, or excuse me, not, oh no, sorry, you and I can what you say
Oh
what
no,
you were saying.
yeah, I was sorry, I was muted. I was saying down the backstretch, it looks like Fitz was able to catch up to Ken Baum. He's now got it down to about four tenths of a gap, 4/10 of a second gap. So maybe starting to get on that little bit of a draft from that two machine is Matthew Fitz. Lucas Nilji's down pit lane.
Yeah, the three machine going to pull the trigger. He's going to come down pit road here at lap 104. We'll have to see
That's interesting.
if anybody else is going to be pitting. Yeah, that is very interesting, Chris. With 50 laps to go.
That is interesting that
45, excuse me.
Teammates on different strategies, but hey, I know that most teammates, I will say I've been on a couple of teams that we never did the same strategy, so maybe a big undercut here for Lucas Nilji's. It looks like Jimmy Barr also pulling it down pit lane. Lucas Nilji's on his way out.
So that's got to be 4 tires and fuel.
Yeah, 15.0. Or
Matthew Fitz is catching him, Chris.
Yeah, I was gonna say Matthew Fitz is starting to catch him. He's now got it down to under 4/10 of a second. So, like I said, starting to slowly grab onto that draft. You don't really see it. I always say the best way you can explain the draft is to get behind an 18-wheeler. It's the best way you can explain it. When you feel that air starting to start wobbling around, that's when you can that's the best way you can personally feel it. I guess once you start grabbing onto that little bit of air and you're able to get into that pocket where you can start sucking up to the back end, bumper of that car in front of you, that's whenever, you can start putting some time down. But it looks like Matthew Fitz might have had a little bit of a hiccup because he just lost 2/10 to Ken Baum. But it looks like he's slowly starting to gain it back.
As at lap 109. They should be able to make it right, Chris.
I would say we've got one more pit stop at least. One more pit stop, yeah. I would say one more, which Matthew Fitz, all that time that he had lost, he's now made it back up. So either something's going wrong in Ken Baum's car or Matthew Fitz has a hell of a setup.
So he just has a rocket ship.
Yeah, that's no, not saying anything. I'm not trying to take away from you, Fitz. I promise you. Just saying. We don't get to talk about you much, Bubba. But right now, you are chasing Ken Baum down.
He's going to have to hold on to it. He's going to have to be consistent if he wants to get up here and race for this race win. Ken Baum is going to be no slouch. He's going to put it all on the line here to try to win this race.
Yes, right now, currently, William Brown is your third place position. He has got a 3 and 3 second gap to Matthew Fitz. So right now, your current battle for position is Ken Baum and Matthew Fitz. Matthew Fitz is knocking on that door. He is trying to get up there and get that lead from that two machine.
Yeah, but it just seems like he doesn't have the finishing potential. He's right there every time. It's just he's not
like
fully
a little bit of a hiccup there.
falls back 2/10.
Yeah, I was going to say, looks like it had a little bit of hiccup coming out of turn 2. I'm wondering if these older tires are starting to show their ugly head. Right now, we'll go back here and we'll see Carson Pittman, Kyle McCarthy currently battling for that 5th position. See the 24 driving down to the inside. He is going to make that pass for that 4th position. Then you see right behind him his teammate, Kyler McCarthy, Kyler McCarthy's teammate, Jaden Bingaman, is also trying to make a move on that for Carson Pittman. So Carson Pittman starting to not like what's underneath him again. He did have a fast race car there early on, but it seems like in the longer run, that 4 machine just not liking the setup underneath him. Jaden Bingaman to the inside. See if he can make this pass stick.
As the 26 snap-on will right now pass him for that 5th position. See if he's able to maintain it. Oh, yeah, he's going to go a country mile into turn 3 and 4. Jaden Bingaman going to move himself into the top 5. As it'll be Ken Baum Jr., Matthew Fitz, William Brown, Kyle McCarthy, and Jaden Bingaman as your top 5. It looks like Fitz is starting to fall off a little bit, Chris.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like Fitz just starting to have a little bit of fall off. Maybe, pushing a little harder. Maybe he thought that Ken Baum was going to come down pit lane already or something. And, you can start pushing. As I say that, Ken Baum missed pit lane. Ken Baum just missed pit lane.
That's not good. He might have just threw this race away.
So you see already a 2 and 3/10 gap between him and Matthew Fitz. So you saw, I was saying it, Ken Baum, was wondering when he was going to come down pit lane, and he was doing it right as I was saying it. But it looks like he misjudged coming out of turn 4 where the entrance was. Oh, he's going to miss it again. He's going to get it slowed down, though.
Whew. Yeah, that might have just killed his night.
Oh, unless we have a caution, you could be correct. So Matthew Fitz, Michael Zuver down pit lane. Zuver should be on his way out here anytime. Actually, Zuver just hit pit lane. Ken Baum also just hit his pit stall. So William Brown is now, Matthew Fitz currently your race leader. Then right behind him is his teammate, William Brown. Kyler McCarthy has moved himself up into that 3rd position. After a couple of incidents, at least I know one where he did spin out. Moved himself up into that 3rd position. Good to see that. Jaden Bingaman. Saw him have a little bit of an incident with that number 9 of William Brown early on. Moved himself up into 4th. And then Carson Pittman right now, currently under attack by Lucas Nilges, but Lucas Nilges not on the lead lap. And then Josh Susi in 6th place. Brody Green is going to be your last driver on the lead lap there. You see that 2 of Ken Baum getting around that 91 machine. So Matthew Fitz currently 30 laps to go. He's just kind of riding out here by himself. 2 and 3/10 seconds up from William Brown.
Yeah, he is doing a good job pulling himself away from William Brown, Kyle McCarthy, as he is 2, like you said, 2 and 6/10 up. So it'll be interesting to see if Matthew Fitz can hold on. If Matthew Fitz wins this race, it'll be a party. I'm telling you, it'll be awesome to see Matthew Fitz possibly win this race. But we got William Brown, Kyle McCarthy, Jaden Bingaman all also just a few seconds back saying, hey, don't go giving away no trophies until we get a say in it. They could come up here and win this race as well. This race could be ripped out of the top 3's hands at any moment. I mean, it's just one of those things that happens at a racetrack like this. And you could see just a caution or whatever may happen. Flip the script on this race way more than it already has today. So Those late rate cautions mean a lot when you've done nothing but dominate all day, but unfortunately, that's the way it goes. As we go back up on board here with Matthew Fitz, who's now really starting to expand that lead some. Almost 2.5 seconds up on William Brown, 3 seconds up on Jaden Bingaman, another 3 seconds up on Kyle McCarthy. It looks like it's going to rain in the skybox in the game.
It looks
Maybe
like
the Hurricanes have followed us into here.
Yeah, it looks like Jaden Bingaman did get around his teammate Kyle McCarthy, so he's moved himself up into that third position. Carson Pittman now has nobody around him, but you see right behind him, Josh Susie. Josh, he is still trying to have something to say about this.
He is indeed.
As Ken Baum just set the fastest lap of the session, 30.13. So those fresher tires are starting to show you. But he has got to push if he's going to make up this time.
Yeah, for real. We're coming in on 25 laps to go. You're going to have to
26
really,
laps to go this time by.
So you're going to have to really put balls to the walls if you want to try to make some position up here.
As we see Lucas Nilges trying to get his lap back the old-fashioned way. He was on those fresher tires. So Matthew Fitz does have about a 2-second gap still over his teammate. But starting to lose a little bit of time is that 69 machine. So I'm wondering when he is going to decide to pull that pit lane trigger. As you see, his teammate, Lucas Nilge, is going to go ahead and get around him. But if you are that 69 machine, you don't want to make the same mistakes that Ken Baum made.
Yeah, Ken Baum missing pit road, Chris, absolutely blew my mind.
Yeah, that was one of those, which I will say, this track's pit lane does sneak up on you if you're not prepared for it. Especially at speed, you know, if you're under caution, of course, it's not that hard. But at speed, it's not easy to see. It's like right now, we see coming out of turn 4, you see? It's like, there's really no way of judging where it's going to start. Because right now, Matthew Fitz is starting to lose a little bit of time to his teammate, William Brown. So you're starting to see those older tires are not where you need to be. So William Brown under attack from Jaden Bingaman right now. On two lap older tires than that. Excuse me, 1 lap older tires than Jaden Bingaman is William Brown. So a little bit of an equal tire set there between those two drivers, but you're starting to see Matthew Fitz slowly creep back up into the picture. So
yeah,
Matthew Fitz, Matthew Fitz starting to lose a lot of time.
And it would be okay if you're losing time with 2 to go. But losing time with 20 to go, it's a big difference.
Yeah, whoa, as you're seeing Jaden Bingaman get a little loose coming out of corner exit. So I'm starting to wonder how much these tires are starting to fall off as you see.
Oh, they are catching William Brown like he is sitting still.
Yeah, and look at that, Josh. Ken Baum is about to make a pass on Jaden Bingaman.
He is side by side going here into 1. Whoa, he's loose.
Ooh, you see him bobbling around there.
He's going to gather it back up, and he is going to make that pass on Kyle McCarthy. Or not, excuse me. Yeah, no, Jaden Bingaman, excuse me. He is lapped, though.
He is lapped, but right in front of him is the leader, so he is about to unlap himself.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to do much good here, Chris, unless we get a caution.
Well, Matthew has not come down pit lane yet, Josh, so... So Ken Baum has officially unlapped himself. He's now back on the lead lap. But I want to say maybe what Matthew Fitz coming down pit lane right now, he is.
Yeah, lap 132 going to 133. Matthew Fitz will pull it down pit road. You'll see William Brown now control the lead of the race with that 26 of Jaden Bingham and the 24 of Colin McCarthy and that 81 of Josh Susie floating back there about 4 seconds behind him. But this race is kind of just opening wide up, Chris, and if these three guys up here in the front got a pit, look who it's going to put in the lead.
Yeah, that's.
We know he pitted earlier, so.
Well, he came down lap 79. Colin McCarthy came down lap 81. Jaden Bingham lap 79, and William Brown lap 80. But Jaden Bingham, as I say that, passing for the lead. It's a new leader here with 17 laps to go. Jaden Bingham. But William Brown does it. Oh.
David Smell just comes flying, and whoa, Matthew Fitz.
Hell, before too long, we're only going to have 2 cars on the track. As who was that who was sliding in there at the end?
David Smell. Well, Susie is happy.
Yeah, a lot of drivers just pulling it to the pits. I'm gonna rewind it here and just see what happened. A lot of markers on here, so we're gonna go to Jaden Bingham. She saw the 26 go to the inside there. It looks like maybe he just dove it in a little hotter than he wanted to, and I don't know. It just looks like Matthew Fitz almost got hit there.
Yeah, there towards the end of that wreck, he almost did get collected. It looks like Ken Baum's back in the lead, Chris.
Yeah, he is currently sitting
on those older tires.
But on those little bit older tires. So see who can get out of pit lane first. Looks like Susie going to win the race off of pit lane. Carson Pittman behind him. Jaden Bingham going to come out in 4th. Brody Green in 5th. Lucas Nilge's in 6th. Kyler McCarthy in that 7th position. Well, currently still sitting on pit lane. Probably taking a little bit of damage repair. Jimmy Barr currently coming into pit lane. And then you see Michael Zuver giving old Princess Banana Hammock a little bit of a bump.
Yeah, Matthew Fitz has had a complete turnaround from leading to 9th place.
Yeah, we saw a couple of drivers going around there. Like I said, I just wonder if maybe Jaden just drove in. If Jaden Bingham just drove in a little too fast, drove in a little too hot, and just overcooked the corner, and then maybe had to get out of the gas a little bit, and then you saw William Brown just not anticipate how he was going to get out of the gas or something. You know, it could have been something like that. Went to tuck back in behind him, and then the next thing you know, he's like, oh, he's going 10 miles an hour slower than and then you're in the back bumper. So
yeah,
it's like it's literally as fast as it happens. You're like, oh, and then your brain processes what it sees, and then the next thing you know, you're sending them around like that. And I'm not gonna lie, I've had that same That same incident, that same wreck probably happened to me 40 times in this sim. So it's just one of those things that it's just everything's happening so quickly that you just make one little miscalculation and then you see what happens there.
You got to do the right thing the first time, or you're not making it through.
Yeah,
How it is.
it really is.
So Ken Baum will be our leader. You see Matthew Fitz and Andrew May there. They are just the ones that got picked up by the pace car. They will get the wave around here in just a moment. We should get back to double file. But I think Susie's got this one in the bag on this restart. Fresh tires. Unless Susie's just got absolutely, or not Susie, Ken Baum Jr., excuse me, just has, like, some type of spikes that he can cut his tires with or something. It'd have to be some battle bots kind of things.
Hey, let's not count out that Ford Carson Pittman too, Josh. He's been up here fighting strong.
So he worked his way back up in the third.
Look, I've always said never show your strong hand. Never show your good cards until the very end. So we could see something. But
Yeah,
like you
it's
said,
gonna be a good finish, Chris.
that 81 is up here in contention. Carson Pittman, Jaden Bingaman still on that outside lane. Carson Pittman on that inside lane. We've got Brody Green on that the inside lane. Lucas Nilges on the outside. So got a lot of good drivers up here in the front that could still be battling for that lead position.
Yeah, this is still realistically anybody's race in the top 10. As the pace car will turn off, Chris. Here we go. Our questions will be answered. What is going to happen here? As he will hit the restart zone and the green flag is out. Good restart from the 2, but he's not going to be able to hold on it for more than a lap.
Yeah, with almost 15 lap difference tires between him, between Ken Baum and Susie, I just don't know if he has what it takes to hold on to it. Now, I mean, like I said, I have been made to eat my words more times in this league than, whoa, there's a little bit of a bump there from Carson Pittman to the 81. That's something you don't want to see. If you're that 81 machine, you definitely don't want to be getting bumps from behind. Mid-corner, especially. Oh, as you see Carson Pittman having to get off of the gas there. He was about to give him another bump. He was like, okay, I don't need to do that.
Ooh, and Susie blocking. Some gamesmanship going on down the back stretch. This is not going to do nothing. This is going to do nothing but infuriate the Ford machine.
So right now, if you're Ken Baum, you look it up, you're seeing that 81 machine in your rear view. Whoa, as we're going around.
Well, 26 is going to save it. He's going to lock it down. 24 is going to take big advantage of it. They're all going to get past him. And Susie to the outside of Ken Baum Jr. The 4 is pushing him into the corner. Oh, he is letting him know, get out of my way, son.
Oh, as I'm wondering if maybe if Carson's trying to push that too, as I see smoke still out on the track. A lot of drivers getting a little crazy back there. It's Carson Pittman to the inside. Those older tires are starting to show for that too. Woo!
They're going to be too wide still off the corner. So Carson Pittman's going to have to make this pass this turn right here in the 1 and 2 if he wants to even have a shot to go up here and race with Susie for this race win. And he is going to make the pass stick on entry.
Ooh,
don't know how much help he's got behind him here with Lucas Nilges.
Matthew Fitz loose. I don't know if he had help there from the 24, but I did see him get a little wiggly coming out of turn 2. Oh, it was a big brake stomp there from the 69. This Ken Baum, yeah, he's already all out of momentum. As you see, the 24, Kyler McCarthy, giving Baum a little bit of a bump. Pushed him up the track. You see Ken Baum getting all kinds of loose up there on the top line. Yeah, he's starting to fall back. Because right now, Susie has got that 4 of Carson Pittman all over his back bumper, and then Lucas Nilges in that 3.
I wouldn't be surprised if Pittman moves him. He wants to win this race. Pittman will move him. He's in his mind, Susie's won enough. He wants this race win. And here it comes, Chris. I'm telling you, he will move.
Yeah,
this guy.
but you don't want to use it up right now.
You don't.
You don't want to use it
up
this
hungry,
early.
Chris, when you're hungry, you sometimes you know when you try to feed a hungry dog, they take a bite before they need to.
Yeah,
with
6 laps to go though, that's just a little too early.
I know, I feel you, but I'm telling you.
But see,
it's down to it right here. I think Carson Pittman's going to use it up.
It's got it.
Like you said, can't use it up early because Lucas Nilge's come back and bite. Oh, he's going to the inside. Susie's opened it up for him. He said, "You want to go here, buddy? Let's go here." Too wide. They're going to door bang. Oh, that's gonna wreck Susie, or not Susie. Carson Pittman. No, he's going to save it. Nilge's going to come back. They're going to go 3 wide down the back straightaway. Oh goodness! And here comes the 24 to help the 20 or the 81. 3 Lucas Nilge's going to get by. Carson Pittman going to drive it in super hard. This is going to be a really big drive-in as we come to 4 to go this time by.
Did you see that drive in there from Kyler McCarthy? Got right.
Saved from the 4 though.
Yes. Man. Oh, everybody is just wanting this as much as they can. Oh, a little bit of a loose
big drive from the 4.
Yeah,
he's gonna make that run stick.
Oh, Lucas Nilge's getting loose on that inside lane.
It's not going to be a run, but it's going to stick. I mean, he did stick it to the 3's door as well. As we'll see him come through turn 3 and 4 here, Chris. Coming to 2 to go. 3 to go. Excuse me. I don't know, man. I don't think Pittman's going to be able to work that outside lane.
I don't know. There is a lot.
Nilge's is flying in now with the 24 of McCarthy.
Ooh, I don't know. I'm. Oh,
Susie might be having an issue up there because he looks like he slowed down.
Carson Pittman into the wall.
Yeah, Pittman into the wall off exit there. As we're going to come to 2 to go here, and man, he surges back.
He's
going to Pittman's trying to use it. Yeah, he's trying to use all that equipment up. Oh, we got 3 wide. They're battling here for second place. That's going to turn Nilge's.
Nope. Oh, the bottom lane saved him. The bottom lane saved him.
Matthew Fitz.
2 laps to go.
You're loving this. You're loving this if you're Susie.
I don't even know what to say. I'm just kind of watching.
They're just racing. White flag this time by if they don't see a caution here before we hit the stripe. White flag is out. Oh, big into the wall for Carson Pittman. Matthew Fitz now going to move up into a podium position, Chris. White flag. Can he hold on to it? Oh, McCarthy just moved him. McCarthy just moved Matthew Fitz. And look at that. Nilge's on the back of Susie. He's going to get him loose out of the corner. To the lead, Lucas Nilge's. And here comes Matthew Fitz down the back straightaway. They're both beating and banging. We could have a battle for second place here. 3 wide off the turn 4. Oh my goodness, I'm trying not to get loud. I'm so sorry. Lucas Nilge's will win. Susie second, and Matthew Fitz will finish third.
Oh my goodness.
What a finish from all 3 of those drivers.
I just could not say a word. I was like, I'm just going to watch this unfold.
I knew if I got too loud, I would be getting yelled at from the family. I do apologize about that. But goodness gracious. Lucas Nilge's, what a job from you, my man. I told you somebody was going to use up Susie, Chris, and it was Nilge's at the perfect time. Sorry we missed that battle. It was going so hectic back there between those 4. I think we got a little bit sidetracked in there. We'll have to go back here and watch this bump to pass right here. We saw it from that camera view. We just didn't see it perfect, but yeah, you saw him on corner exit there. He got the run up to the back bumper, and Nilge said, buddy, it's a white flag. I'll wreck my mom for this checkered flag right now. And he's going to put the bumper right there to the back of that Hello Kitty machine.
Didn't wreck him.
That is a textbook move right there.
Didn't wreck him. Just gave him enough of a bump to upset the rear end and get him out of the way.
As it looks like he has concluded his burnout. Gonna pick it back up here. Man, what an excellent job there from that Lucas Nilge's machine. I just got to say a really good job from him. I mean, we were thinking it was going to be that Carson Pittman machine at first. It was going to move that 81. But the 3, he said, hey, I'm going to go up there. And in typical number 3 fashion, I'm putting the bumper to him, baby. Hell of a job from Lucas Nilge's. A well-deserved win here at Nashville Super Speedway. And started this race in 8th and is going to finish it in 1st. But speaking of positions here, Chris, you got the final results here as we go through our official results for the race. It will be Lucas Nilge's in that 1st position. As you see, him and Matthew Fitz doing a double burnout there. So Lucas Nilges will win this race with Josh Susie in second, Matthew Fitz third, Colin McCarthy fourth with Carson Pittman in fifth. Then you'll see Jaden Bingham in sixth with Jimmy Barr seventh, Brody Green eighth with Ken Baum Jr. ninth. Then 10th will go to Andrew May, Michael Zuver 11th, Robbie Bice 12th, William Brown 13th, David Smo Jr. 14th, Chris Lynn 15th, Jeremy Zarfo 16th, Bill Hell 17th, and Ryan Broderick 18th, excuse me. But as we just sit here and wait a second for your post-race interviews, I just got to say, Chris, man, Lucas Nilge's getting up there and just doing what we said he would do. Move that 81 machine. And it does look like we have our drivers getting ready here. Looks like we are just waiting on Susie, but that's not going to stop us. Going to go ahead and bring in that first place and that race winner, Lucas Nilges. Lucas Nilges, Chris, and Josh up here in the booth. Do you got a copy, sir?
I got you guys.
Man, oh man. We were saying that we thought at first it was going to be Carson Pittman using up that 81 machine, but coming out of turn 2 right there on the white flag lap, you just did it at the right time. You didn't wreck him. You didn't, destroy his race. You didn't have to make an arch enemy, but you did use that intimidate button and that number to a little bit of perfection there. Man, a perfect bump coming right off the corner, unsettled his race car, got you passed on the white flag lap, and it's going to put you there in a spot to win this race. Lucas, how does it feel not only to win this race, man, but to come from that 8th position? And you guys were having a pretty good race there from the start, but didn't expect for right there at that end run for you to come through the pack right there and win that race with as much as was going on with you guys there through that second through that 5th position. So great job, Lucas, and just take us through that, man, on that race win tonight.
Well, it was quite the battle of the race because after the first caution, I came in and got fuel, hoping, use the strat that way. I spun myself out trying to pass the 81 early. Thankfully, caution came out, rebounded, just kept working. My teammate 69 Fitz, and then Ken and myself, the three of us we pulled away. We roped away from the field, and finally I realized my other teammate in the 9, Will, he was catching us, and we were within 50 to go. I was like, I have to pit, and at that point, bed was made. I had to lie, and I knew if I got a top 5, it was very minimum chance. And then we got the caution again, and when the 2 stayed out, I was like, that's the only car that I am even the slightest bit worried about. And then once I got in the battle with the 4, I was like, man, if I can just clear him, I got the 81. I felt I had him. I hate that I had to move him, but kind of like the discussion we had several races ago, I have to use that number to its it's pretty much its popularity, what it's known for. So it sucks I had to do that, but I wanted to get a win so bad, and then also get my teammate up here in podium as well. It's funny because Fitz even told our whole team, he's like, we're winning tonight. And he was right. He predicted it. One of us won. So it's great to finally get a win. I know I didn't really need it to get in the playoffs, but it just feels even better to have one.
Man, not only did you do it, but you did it in style, man. Like you said, we were even hitting at that too. I said, using the number 3 and using it right. You did a great job to not only move him successfully and win the race, not get yourself caught off. You didn't pull a Danica. That's at least you didn't do that. You could have done that.
I could have done that. Thankfully, I didn't. Thankfully, I didn't.
Because you saw what happened. If you had a Danica yourself, man, Susie would have won, and then it'd have been like, well, now what have we done?
I will say I'm 100% glad. I know he's not happy about it. I'm glad it didn't wreck him, and he was still able to finish up here. I know it probably sucks on his end, but hopefully he understands why. Hopefully he gets over it fairly quick. I didn't want to do that, but hey, got to get a win.
Hey, I mean, for sure, man. I definitely understand from that, that survival instinct, man. When you're racing, you want to get up there, you want to win, but you did exactly, the way, like you said, didn't wreck him. You had to do it, but you did it anyways. So, Lucas, if you've got any final words, man, thoughts, anything though, before we let you get out of here, you're more than welcome to throw them out there, and then we'll let you get on, celebrate with the Team Sparky Unicorn guys, and hey, enjoy the rest of your race victory week.
I just want to thank you guys again for always putting on this broadcast. Anybody who's sitting there taking the time to watch it as well. Shout out to Robbie and Fitz for running the league, putting on the races, make sure everything's up for us. And shout out to my teammates, whether they're here every single week with us or not, or if they're just watching. And just shout out again to Fitz for calling his shot, because we definitely bagged the dub that he called.
He was the Babe Ruth moment. He pointed
It
you.
was the Babe Ruth. Hey, Babe Ruth for number 3. There we go. Full
There we go.
circle right there with the
There we
number
go. There we
3.
go. Hey, I'm at. You know what? We'll sign that one off. Hey, Lucas, again, buddy, again, congratulations, man. It was fun having you up here, and it was fun watching you go out there and like you said, use that 3 to its full potential. And hey, great run here tonight, man. Hopefully, we'll be having a word again with you here soon.
Yeah, man. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right, and that was Lucas Nilge. He's gonna go ahead and bring up our second place finisher. Have a word with Josh Richardson. We'll see, Chris, if he's over it that quickly. Josh, Susie, Chris, and Josh up in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, Josh. Well, we know it was going to be one of these conversations when we come in. How it's going to feel right there, because you were definitely in the position to win that race. You had a car that seemed like at the start of the race you fell back. I saw you type in chat, word I can't say, but this strategy, and you went to you're pretty much your lone man strategy, but tell us, really there towards that end run, how it felt to pick the car back up, and what really brought you back into this race, and obviously, that last run right there, and Lucas getting past you right there out of turn 2. Just take us through that whole scenario and how the race played out for you tonight.
Well, I mean, I went into the race. I was going to one stop the race. So that's why I fell back right at the start because I just shoved it in fifth gear and I was saving tire and fuel. And I was going to split the race in half and one stop it, kind of like I was doing at Darlington. And then, every time we'd have something happen with a caution, I'd have to adjust that strat. And like, I felt like I'd got on the winning strat and then something else would happen. So it was frustrating. And then, I think it was Chris Lynn was on the outside of me on 2 on one of those end green runs, and he just he got loose and come down. I had nowhere to go. Ended up putting him in the grass and uh shoving me in the grass too. And it gave me 50 seconds of damage on the right front, which was very unfortunate. After a few laps, I was maintaining speed with everybody, but um, I couldn't afford to sit in the pits on that late caution and fix the damage because I would have restarted like ninth or 10th or something. And at that point, you have no shot at winning. So I just kind of rolled the dice and I was able to get around Ken. And I was watching him in the mirror battle. But I knew as soon as someone got clear, they would be able to get right back up to me. It's just that little bit of damage was hurting me on the straightaway enough to where I really couldn't overcome it. And unfortunately, they stopped battling just a lap too soon. As far as the finish, it is what it is. I don't have any issues with Lucas. I know he's a clean driver, so I mean, he come across the comms and said he had to do what he had to do to get a win, which I mean, I understand. At the same time, he's basically locked in on points, so it's kind of like, really. But at least he didn't dump me, and I was able to still keep it in one piece and bring it home in second.
And we will say, it is definitely one of those things that probably stings a little bit, like you said, going off the strategy so much, having to deviate off your plan and just kind of, throw a Hail Mary there. And, like you said, get on the strategy, something come out, get on another strategy, it come out, another caution come out. But, overall, Josh, you played a really great night. You had a great race under you. And, besides the finish there, I mean, even still able to keep the car under you, I got to say it was a great finish. But, man, if you've got any final words, thoughts, shout outs before we let you get out of there, you're more than welcome to throw them out there and we'll let you get on your way, sir.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, as always, thank you, Nitro Setups. Another bullet as usual. A little tricky at this track because clean air is king. So, um, you know, Ken, good job on the pole and being able to control the front of the field. It's hard to overcome someone on close speed here. So, I have to think outside the box, which I say shout out to myself for always being able to do so. And I mean, even that strat where Jaden should have won, and Kyler would have got second or third or whatever. That was a call that I'd made to the team to, hey, if we go green, we're in our window now where we can make it, and they can't. So just always playing crew chief and driver at the same time. Big shout out to the team. Always putting in the hard work and digging. A couple of the drivers here, even beside myself, feel like they've had a couple stole this year, but that's how the racing season goes sometimes. So to them, keep your heads up, keep digging. It'll come. And shout out to the admins and shout out to you guys for the awesome broadcast.
Good. Thank you, Josh, for a few minutes of your time, buddy. And again, appreciate the words. And we'll hopefully be talking to you here within the next couple weeks. And enjoy the rest of your weekend.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. I said weekend, even though it's the middle of the week, but you know me. It's 10 o'clock. I feel like I'm about to fall asleep over here. We'll get Matthew Fitz, our third place finisher, up here in the booth and have an interview. Chris, I know you're so excited for this one. Princess Banana Hammock Matthew Fitz up in the booth. Goodness gracious. I'm kind of terrified for this one, man. How are you? You just finished third place here and your teammate took the win. Take us through it, Matthew. How does it feel, buddy?
Man, it feels pretty good. I honestly felt like I had a winning car, but pit strategy coming down. Was there going to be a caution? Like you were just gambling at that point. And I was like, I felt like I was fast, but man, Ken was just so fast. So I was just like, if I could get some kind of like pit strategy disparity, if a caution comes out and I can get ahead, I can stay ahead. That'll be the best case scenario. But I had to pit on the very last lap, and then Will wrecked him, or Will ended up wrecking and throwing the caution. It screwed me. Well, I started inside line P9 on that last green flag, and it was just like I had to do everything I could to get around these guys. I just, it's sucks to go third when I had such a fast car and I really thought I could win. But at the same time, like, I told the guys earlier in the race or before the race, I'm like, we're winning tonight. Like, if it's me, if it's you, like, I don't care what's going to happen. Like, I have a good feeling we're going to win tonight. And luckily, Lucas got a win. I got a P3 out of it. So, it's good racing with everybody. Susie, Ken put up a great fight. All the guys, Kyler. It's good fun racing every week coming out with these guys.
Hey, I was gonna say, man, it's been one of those things, you always used to joke around saying, oh, I'm the low lights guy or I'm whatever this and that, I'm just here to have fun. But Matthew, these past couple weeks, man, you guys, not only yourself, but the Sparkle Unicorn team in general, y'all been showing a lot of speed and even yourself now, I'll say it has been showing speed. And tonight we were saying that as well, that you looked like you had the car that if the cards played right, you could have went up there and won that race. So I just got to say a good hats off to you. It's probably one of the best driven races we've seen from you this season. I mean, it was a hell of a job, and you guys are showing a lot of good speed. But that's exactly what Lucas was saying though too, though, that you were calling the shots. So now we're gonna have to start calling you, like Babe Ruth or something.
Well, it's amazing what a little practice will do.
Right? It's almost like we were saying earlier in the race, Chris. Practice makes perfect, right? But Matthew, man, again, we'll stop joking around here with you and stop giving you some the mess. But hey, buddy, just if you got any final words, thoughts, shout outs, any final thoughts of the race that you want to get out there, you're more than welcome to throw them out there, and we'll let you get on your way and enjoy this podium here tonight at Nashville.
Yeah, first and foremost, running this league with Robbie, it's always a good experience. I'm glad that we get everybody out here with the talent and stuff. You come out here, run with these guys, and you're just battling each and every race. You go and hop in some officials, start winning, so get a little confident. Then you get humbled coming back out here. So I'm just glad that we have everybody coming out here each and every week. I really appreciate you guys for coming back. OG broadcasters. I look forward to watching the race every season or every year. So can't wait to watch this race.
Heck yeah, man. We're excited for you to go back and watch it, man. It was again a good run from you guys tonight, and especially yourself hitting up there leading some part of the race, and hell, like we said, a little bit different of an outcome here. We're talking to you up here in Victory Lane tonight, Matthew. But again, buddy, congratulations. Thank you for the kind words, and we'll hopefully be talking to you here soon.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. And that was Matthew Fitz, man. That's awesome to get to talk to Matthew up here, Chris. Usually we're in the booth before talking to him before the race, and finally here we are talking to Matthew Fitz right now in the booth, and that is what is awesome. I'm trying to figure out some race details from next week. If we can't figure it out now, well, we will be here next Wednesday, we promise you. But looks like Chris is trying to figure out those details. But all in all, a great race here tonight from Lucas Nilge. I almost called him Charles Leclerc because his nickname in Discord is Chuck Leclerc. As Lucas Nilge's, he did a great job here tonight. And then you saw, of course, our 81 machine of Josh Susie, Matthew Fitz, all those guys, just excellent job here tonight. But Chris, You still looking for that race information or can't find it? We do know our schedule is a little bit off here with everything, so we do apologize about that. We will be here next Wednesday though. But Chris, do you have any final words before we let our Full Throttle faithful go here tonight?
Yeah, just a big shout out to everybody out on the YouTube page. Everybody that comes here week in and week out. That sits and listens to us rattle off at at random races all day. It's always a lot of fun to come home on Wednesday and be able to sit down and do this. It's like Fitz said. It's always a lot of fun every week. To be here and to call these races. That's what we love to do. It's just one of those things that I'm glad that we were able to get back into it and we're able to keep going. But hey, I don't know what track we're doing because tonight was technically not supposed to be a night. This was supposed to be an off week, and I don't have any of my notes or anything pulled up and for the races next week. But we will, like you said, we will definitely be here next week. I just can't remember what track it is, but just big shout out to Robbie and Fitz and everybody in the league, everybody that makes this make this a positive. Even like I said, even if you're sitting on YouTube and I don't even know your name, you make this possible. So I appreciate you. But so it's been fun here tonight at Nashville. Can't wait for next week.
It has indeed been a good night here at Nashville. This is Chris and Josh saying thank you one more time up here in the Full Throttle booth. And we'll hopefully be seeing you next weekend, or next Wednesday, excuse me. Wherever track we're at, we'll be racing. That's all I know. But hey, again, congratulations to our race winners and podium sitters here tonight. And thank you again for tuning in. We'll see you next Wednesday. Good night and be safe through your week.